Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Thank you so much for making time to watch the show tonight. So, what do we have in front of us? This is from our recent haul. This is a 12-inch Peter Pan record, read and hear book and record. And I've seen some of these online before, but I've never come across one in public. It is very 70s. I have not gone out and dated this exactly, but it's interesting. So it develops the child's desire and ability to read as it entertains. And so it's kind of an educational thing. It looks like we got a storybook there. Brother and sister with mom, maybe their aunt, reading them a book. And on this particular one, we've got Three Little Pigs, Wizard of Oz, Little Red Riding Hood. An educationally valuable multi-sensory reading concept that is approved by reading specialists. Type sizes selected especially for the young child. Manufactured by Peter Pan Records. So on this side, and then we got the record player down there. Now, what's interesting is on this side, you've got sort of the educational adult cover. And then on the back, you've got perhaps the cover that would appeal to children. So on the back here, we've got a lot of cool stuff here. I love the record with the book. I haven't even opened this. I just literally took the plastic sleeve off. I have not opened it at all. I don't know the condition of anything. I'm known to buy records sight unseen, which sometimes bites me in the rear end. Sometimes it's okay. But it's an interesting story to sort of unpack it and enjoy it together. So we got a full color storybook and a long playing 12-inch record and those three stories, three favorite stories, and then some generic non-intellectual property, copyright-ish threatening artwork here. Nothing that's going to infringe on anything here. Three stories. Interesting here how the big bad wolf sort of has his paws curled up behind him there. Sort of disconcerting. It's nice to see an artist's name here mentioned, George Peed, P-E-E-D. And yeah, that's about all I know about it. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what we got here. I'm excited to see what it is. Awesome. Oh, I love the idea of doing this as a 12-inch because there's so many 7-inch records that are the book and record sets, but to do it in this larger format I think is genius. More enjoyable Peter Pan 12-inch records. I have this Cinderella one here. I actually do have that. I don't think I have the book though. Maybe I do. I gotta go back and look at that. They look like, for the most part, I'm gonna look a little closer here. I think, unless I'm missing anything, they're like public domain stories, like Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, Jack and the Beanstalk. Probably, the idea is they would capitalize on, Disney properties and whatnot. Sometimes these types of records and whatnot will actually they'll actually license the content, and then sometimes they'll just use kind of their own deal. So look at this full color storybook. Oh, this is so cool. I love this, and you can read along. And as a kid, I loved going to the library, and I don't know if you guys did that when you grew up, but for us, as kids in the 80s, we would go to the library, and the librarian or perhaps a teacher would open the book, and then they would hold it out backwards for us to see. We're sitting in like a semicircle. It makes me think of that. And that was just with them reading it, not even with, the added benefit of the record as well. So fantastic full color artwork here. I'm guessing this is like 75-ish, just if I had to, hazard a guess. I know I can look it up unless we come across a copyright mark. I'm assuming that's the era. So it's, it's 45, 46 years old probably at least. And the artwork is pristine. The pages are, nice and white. I don't see really much yellowing at all. Look at this. It's bound with string. I mean, is that string? No, it's a staple. Okay. For a second, I thought that was actually a string bind right there. String binding, but it's just a staple. That being said, it's doing the trick. So check this out. This is so cool. And of course, we'll listen to the record here in a minute, but I wanted to give the artist and the artwork its full due. Just cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and take the record out. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, set it aside for right this second. Don't worry, I'm storing it properly-ish. And then what do we got here? An advertisement for some more titles. These are full-blown intellectual properties here. We got Star Trek, Superman, Batman, the Irwin Disco Duck. Okay, so that helps date things. For your Irwin, this is funny. Look at this. For your Irwin the Disco Duck 15-inch by 24-inch poster, just send $1. Man, I wonder what would happen if you sent $1. Whatever that address is, maybe that's, well, that's a P.O. box. Sometimes those addresses, it makes you wonder. I love the idea of the advertising materials built in. I think that that's awesome. And just this little jacket here to hold the record. And that's pretty much it, you guys. So let's go ahead and check out the record itself. Okay, the record itself looks like it's in pretty good condition. It is dusty, so we'll give it a light dusting before we play it. It's got a razor sharp edge to it. It is a vinyl record. It's not styrene. And it's got a pretty basic label on there, 33 1/3 RPM. Plays mono or stereo. That's interesting terminology there. So it's pretty basic. It is what it is. Again, the adult would probably be the one to handle the record, and the kids would be listening. So we are going to go a little overkill today and listen on the LP7, which you'll notice I went back to the VMN 520 stylus, which is the stock stylus cartridge on this cartridge, not stylus, because the Grotto Gold Prestige 2, as wonderful as it is, and trust me, it is wonderful, is having a bit of an issue because I cannot get this. It's a tall cartridge, and I cannot get it can't get the VTA set correctly. So the vertical, look at all that dust on there. Wow. This thing needs to be really clean, and it hasn't been cleaned yet. I'm going to, but for today, we're just going to do this. It was just too tall. Even though this has an adjustable VTA on the back of that tone arm, I couldn't get it up high enough. And so it was tracking at a kind of a tilted angle, and I didn't like that. So, all right, that's going to have to do for now. This needs a deep cleaning. So let's go ahead and just give it a listen. If for whatever reason, and I'm gonna plan on doing this pretty much consistently going forward, but if for whatever reason we run into any copyright issues, get some of this dust out of here, I am going to put the link to the complete video recording in the description. However, I'm not anticipating that's going to be the case with this, but I'm always surprised what they decide needs to be monetized for a copyright holder. Here we go. Listening on the PreSonus Eris 4.5s.
Hello, girls and boys. I'm your Peter Pan storyteller. When you hear this sound, you turn the page. Now, let's read the story together. Here we go. 3 Little Pigs.
I'm doing this for the money.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs. Their names were Spotty, Curlytail, and Tiny.
3 little pigs, 3 little pigs, just look right there. The 3 little pigs playing in the sun the whole day through. Having fun is all they do. And look.
It's like the Partridge Family edition. It cracks me up. Okay, let's go ahead and go to this next track here.
It is the home of the wonderful whiz, the whiz, the whiz, the whiz, the whiz, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
I bet that nobody could have imagined that this record would ever be played on a turntable with a dual moving magnet cartridge. LP7. I mean, obviously this was designed for a kid's record player, and as such, the fidelity is amazing. I don't know if that's coming through on the microphone. I'm only using a mono mic tonight, so my apologies for that. But the fidelity is amazing. There's great stereo separation. It's just, phenomenal. The sound quality is really, really good. And I'm sure these frequencies were never heard when this record was, originally owned. And the people mastering it probably never thought that anybody would ever hear, the information stored in this record. Usually when I'm playing kids records, I'll pull out my Fisher-Price kids turntable or something like that to kind of recreate the full experience. But tonight I didn't have as much time, so this is the one I had set up. I've been listening to this table all day, so I thought we'd listen to it on here. But it's kind of an interesting little listen to this record with a high sound quality.
Here we are on the second side of the record. Let's read together again.
We're on our way to visit the Wizard of Oz.
A little way down
The music's actually pretty snappy, even though it's obviously not from the movies and stuff, but it's snappy music.
Dorothy, and I'm going to Emerald City to see the wizard.
Would you take me with you? Maybe the wizard will give me a brain instead of straw under my hat.
It's so hard to live with.
I'm actually really impressed that they took the energy to write music and lyrics instead of just telling the story. It's more, the production value is higher quality than I was expecting. Another thing that's ridiculous is we're running the what is this? This is the preamp, the external preamp with the subsonic AI filter on it. Again, probably never imagined that one would listen to this record with that kind of technology.
Little Red Riding Hood.
In a faraway land, there once lived a little girl called Little Red Riding Hood.
That guy's voice sounds familiar. Doesn't that guy's voice sound familiar? I can't place it. I'm impressed, you guys. I mean, wow. The production quality is just phenomenal on that. It sounds good. Now, am I using music to listen to my turntable, or am I truly listening to, you know what I mean? That they say audiophiles sometimes use music to listen to their equipment. I don't want to fall into that category. I want to listen to my music on equipment, if that makes any sense. But kind of funny, I didn't really plan it this way, that we would, be demonstrating the sonic fidelity and quality of a Peter Pan record from the 70s, but that's really what we did. It's amazing sound quality. Hopefully that came through even in mono for you, that you could hopefully be able to hear that. So there you go, the read in here, book and record with the 3 stories there. I'll try to feature this more in the future down the road. I don't know how or when, but it might just pop up again. I would like, and a lot of people have asked me, they said, why don't you do another channel where you just play the music, where you just play the stories, the records completely. And it would take time to build that up, and then you'd have to be pulled in 2 directions with that other channel, and I don't want to dilute what we have here. So I really think the best thing is for me to embed videos with that content. That being said, I don't think we're going to have any copyright issues here, so I'm not going to go ahead and record the entire record. But if for whatever reason I do run into copyright issues and I have to cut it up a little bit, I will put the full video of what we did record tonight in a link down in the description, so you can hear what we heard or tried to hear. So anyway, that's going to do it for now, guys. Thank you so much for being there as always. But happy record hunting. We will see you tomorrow.